Welcome to the Midlife Rider Project. This is a place for riders who have lived a little and learned a lot. A place for honest reflection, lived experience, and listening for the wisdom that emerges as we ride through this second season of life. Have you ever rushed to the barn, excited to ride, and then realized your brain never actually made the trip with you? You're physically there. You've been looking forward to this all day. You finally get to see your horse, and yet your shoulders are tight. Your thoughts are still spinning. You're replaying your last ride, thinking about work, thinking about everything you didn't get done. You love being there, but you don't feel truly there. If that sounds familiar, then this episode is for you. Today, I want to share a simple 15-minute pre-ride reset that has completely changed how I show up to ride. So let's talk honestly for a moment. Riding in midlife is very different from riding when we were younger. Back then, riding was often the center of life. We rode frequently, we had time to think about horses all day. We didn't come to the barn carrying the extra weight of careers, homes, families, and responsibilities. Now, we squeeze riding into busy lives. We rush to the barn after work and we feel pressure to make every ride count. And many of us feel nerves that we never used to feel before. And here's something I don't think we talk about enough. Switching from life mode to horse mode is hard. You can love your horse and riding very deeply and still arrive at the barn distracted, tense, scattered, or anxious. And that mental state follows you into the ride, even when we don't want it to. Most riders think the ride begins when we actually get in the saddle, but the ride begins long before that. It begins when you step out of your car and when your senses take in all the sights and sounds and smells of the barn, and when you walk down the barn aisle toward your horse. If your mind is still tangled up in thoughts of your day, then your ride starts from tension instead of connection. For a long time, I thought something was wrong with me when I felt this way. I thought that I just needed to be more confident, more disciplined in my approach to riding, or more focused. What I actually needed was a transition to build a bridge between real life and horse time. I started a simple ritual before rides to help me shift gears. I call it the 15-minute pre-ride reset. It's not complicated, it doesn't require a lot of extra time, but it gives your brain and your nervous system a chance to catch up with where you are. It helps you make the transition from the rest of your life to horse time. And it has made my rides feel calmer, more connected, and far more enjoyable. Let me walk you through it so you can try it the next time you head out to the barn. Imagine that you've just gotten to the barn. Before you jump straight into your usual routine, give yourself 15 minutes to create this transition from one part of life to the next. So, from your busy work life, your everyday life, to life at the barn. Step one is just to ask yourself a simple question. What do I need most right now? It could be focus or energy, connection, confidence, calm. Pick the answer that is the first one to pop into your head. That becomes the intention for your reset. This tiny moment of awareness changes how you approach the entire ride. Next, you'll want to spend a couple of minutes moving. Walk a lap around the barn and maybe roll your shoulders or stretch your hips and legs. Take slow, deep breaths of fresh air. This signals to your nervous system that the rest of the day is ending and horse time is beginning. It sounds simple, but this step alone creates a noticeable shift. Okay, step 3. You'll ask yourself something that's both a gentle question and helpful. Something like, what would make today's ride feel like a win? Or what is already going well with my horse? Or maybe what is the smallest success I could have today? This step lowers the pressure and it shifts your focus toward progress instead of perfection. Step 4, you'll pick one tiny riding action. Pick something that's small and easy to begin. Maybe you just groom very slowly and intentionally, or hand walk your horse, or even clean a piece of tack. The goal is simply to begin without any sort of pressure. Step 5 then is the 7-minute momentum block. Set a timer for 7 minutes and stay with that one action. Put your phone away. Give yourself this small pocket of focus time. 7 minutes is long enough to build momentum, but short enough that your brain won't resist it. Often, this is the moment where everything begins to shift. The next step then is to notice the win. Before moving on, pause and acknowledge what you just did. This reinforces progress and builds trust in yourself. And that is the entire reset. So, why this works? This routine works because it lowers the pressure. Instead of jumping straight into performance mode, you give yourself permission to transition. You move from rushing to settling in, from feeling pressure to being present, from tension to connection. And your horse feels this difference. Since I started doing this, my rides feel less rushed, less anxious, more focused, more enjoyable. And honestly, that changes everything. I did turn this reset into a free guide that you can download and keep on your phone or in your tack trunk so it's always there when you need it. You can grab it using the link in the show notes. You don't need hours to feel better before a ride. Sometimes you just need 15 intentional minutes. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated, I hope you'll join me again next week as we continue riding through this season together. Until then, take good care of yourself and your horse.